G'day, Tragic here, and this is Wrath of the Righteous, Pathfinder, the adventure card game, and we're playing in Tabletop Simulator. Now, normally after my setup video, which I kind of combined as an instruction video on how to use the mod, I go straight into the first round, but they're going to do something special this time. Basically, this guy, Julian Dick, has created the campaign story journal, and he's done this for all the box sets. And basically, he's like a big fan of Pathfinder. He obviously plays the RPG. He's probably read the books. And so he's really deep in the lore. So in case you didn't know, the Pathfinder boxes match the Pathfinder scenarios of the RPG. So there's these big, massive, story-based RPG scenarios that you play through, much the same way as you play through the Pathfinder box scenario. So there's actually quite detailed backstory to all this kind of stuff, and he's compiled this information and written these journals for each quest box, and they're very, very cool. And I'm going to read them out on the channel, and I'm going to put these as separate videos so you can skip them if you want, but also they'll be in their own playlist so you can listen to them like an audiobook. And when I'm done, I'm going to make an MP3 of them. Probably no one will download it, but I'll do it anyway. So that's what I'm going to do. Now I'm going to read through these books, starting with the first one. Now, due to the nature of these, I'm actually going to read directly from the PDFs. So I'm just jumped out of the application. Okay, so let's get into this. The campaign story. This is written by Julian Dick, and this is version 1. Adventure Path, Wrath of the Righteous. When the abyssal portal first opened in the barbarian realm of Sarkoris over 100 years ago, the world wound tore reality apart, murdering a whole nation and unleashing a ravenous demonic horde upon the world. Only the quick action of several other nations of knights, barbarians, and heroes stemmed the demon army and contained it within the lost Sarkoris. And for the next century, the Crusader nation of Mendev has stood as a bulwark against the ever-expanding demonic blight. Warriors both devout and opportunistic have responded ever since by making the long trek to Avastain's far north. 4 crusades have attempted to cleanse the land, but each seems to meet a worse fate than the last. Their greatest success, the line of magical artifacts known as the Wardstones, that stand sentinel along the World Wound's border, barely managed to contain the demons. Built as the ultimate defensive line during the Second Crusade, they are magical menhirs of tremendous power linked together to form invisible walls that destroy any lesser demon that dare approach it. The Fourth Crusade hasn't really ended as much as it's petered out, yet some refuse to accept that. Amid crippling shortages and record lows in morale among the Crusaders, the Mendevian war effort teeters on the brink of collapse. Through the demonic occupation, the world wound is growing, as is the corruption among the Crusaders. It has grown among various crusading companies, knightly orders, and their organizations involved in the war, and it is a large part an unavoidable result of human nature. But over the decades, it has been subtly nurtured and encouraged by the demon, particularly the secret order of the Templars of the Ivory Labyrinth. These cultists of the demon lord Baphomet have infiltrated every major group among the Crusaders, working at undermining their morale and corrupting purity from within, even as the demon host of the world wound relentlessly attacks them from without. For a time, the Templars were content to sow seeds of corruptions and laid foundation for rebellion and disorder, but the demon lord Descari has grown impatient. 100 years after the death of his old nemesis Araden, Descari has now set his endgame in motion, and Baphomet and his cult are hastening to comply by stepping up their acts of corruption and treachery within the ranks. Queen Galfrey, the absolute monarch of the Crusader state of Mendev and the leader of the Mendevian Crusades, has sent out a call. Can anyone rise up against the demon host to prevent the armies of Descari, the lord of the locust host and the usher of the apocalypse, from swallowing the world? Can anyone seal the world wound forever? Adventure 0, Into the World Wound. The Pathfinder Society is on the verge of one of the greatest archaeological discoveries since the beginning of the Age of Lost Omen. Teams of agents scattered throughout the Inner Sea discovered that the lost sky citadel of Joradum lies within the area of the lost Sarcosis' Frostmire Fen, called the Wolf Crags, now consumed by the World Wound. Opening Joradum would be the crowning achievement in any Pathfinder agent's career, ensuring a prominent place in what will likely become a widely read volume of the Pathfinder Chronicle. Unable to push far into the demon-infested wasteland by itself, the Society intends to recruit potent aid in this dangerous endeavour. In return for the opportunity to reclaim their lost stronghold, the dwarves are willing to provide military assistance and historical expertise. Groups of Pathfinders are sent to the capital city of Mendev, Norasan, to prepare for the expedition to the dwarven sky citadel, Joradum. The Pathfinder Society also joined the Crusade of Mendev in repulsing the demons and containing the abyssal wasteland. However, reaching the sky citadel remains a priority, and to ensure this mission's success, the Society needs additional help. Scenario 01, The Godless One, Prologue. Early on, the Pathfinders approached the Rift Wardens, a far-reaching coalition of spellcasters dedicated to maintaining planar boundaries and fighting evil summoners. However, the Rift Wardens closest to the World Wound dismissed the Pathfinders' request to assist directly in the Society's upcoming expedition to the World Wound as impossible, as many of them are already committed to the Fifth Crusade of Mendev and are unable to help in the face of greater threats and priorities. Fortunately, not all the Rift Wardens are occupied in the World Wound, and the organization's leadership provided the Society with a possible alternative. Were the Society to aid another group of Rift Wardens, freeing them from their ongoing obligations, those spellcasters could help in the march on Joradum. These leaders named Jehani Jojinda as the contact for the Rift Warden team. Your group of Pathfinders sets out to the desert nation of Rahadum in order to find her. As you arrive in Rohudun's capital, Azur, the local Rift Wardens organization tells you that several Rift Wardens have recently disappeared. Their commander, Jehani Jojinda, began finding hints that the Blackfire Adepts had infiltrated Azir, so she began gathering Rift Wardens from her region to strike decisively at the rival organization. Unfortunately, Jehani proved far better at banishing fiends than at masking her plan, and the Blackfire Adepts learned of her intentions and laid a trap for the Rift Warden, capturing the entire team shortly before the Pathfinder's arrival in Azur. Having accomplished most of their short-term goals in Azir, many of the Blackfire Adepts are now departed to begin building bases of operations in other cities, while one or two remain behind to interrogate and later execute the Rift Warden captives. Among the remaining group of the Cultus of Baphomet is the local leader of the Blackfire Adepts, Sofini. The Blackfire Adepts occupy a walled compound from which they run a legitimate slave trade business as a cover for darker research. Rumor has it that Sofini also has some Siesto demons under her control, patrolling the building. Knowing that any open attack will draw the attention of the local guards, you must infiltrate or assault the compound, extract the crippled Rift Wardens, and escape without perishing from the Blackfire Adepts' magic, all being captured from Azur's law enforcement.